I solemnly swear that I am up to no good.
You've been waiting for it. My god, you've been waiting for it. Now here it is for the both of you. WaterparkRangers, let's play Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Blimey! 12 years ago, Sirius Black murdered 13 people with a single curse. Imagine it! A single curse!
Crookshanks! No!
Get out of here! Can't you keep that monster under control? Now I'm gonna have to find Scabbers.
Calm down, Ron. You don't want to wake up Professor Lupin, our new defense against the dark arts teacher.
I'll help you find Scabbers. Come on.
That cutscene seems to move unnaturally fast for some reason. Anyway, you can go into these early rooms in the train, like to the side, but there's no point because there's literally nothing inside them, so I don't know why they let you go in there.
Scabbers! Come here, you little...
We are already in our first battle against the Monster Book of Monsters. Right off the bat, you'll realize that this game has very similar controls to the last one. Same Zelda formula, the way you equip spells to different buttons. And you can also strafe around opponents while locked on, only this time you use R instead of L. Not to mention you can jump to the side by holding the control stick and pressing A while you're targeting. Anyway, you just defeat that guy by shooting Flipendo into his mouth whenever he opens it, which is practically all the time. Ron does that really weird move and, like, did he rip some sort of bookmark out of it? Anyway, that's what defeats the Monster Book of Monsters. Now we have to move this thing. It's very simple, it just teaches you that you can pick up large heavy objects with A, and apparently I didn't carry it far enough away from the door, but now we can head off to the next compartment of the train.
Well, look who it is. Potty and the Weasel. I should have known this pathetic excuse for a rat had something to do with you.
Give him back, Malfoy!
Or what, Weasley? Or I'll Rictus Sempra!
You asked for it, Malfoy!
First things first, take a moment to appreciate how stupid their life meter is in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen without screaming Malfoy face. Anyway, Crabbe and Goyle, like, only have Flipendo and this move that gives you a pumpkin for a head that seems to just make you unable to use spells for a short time. It's quite annoying, but they're very easy enemies.
You couldn't hit the side of a barn, Weasley.
Malfoy might actually be the easiest of them all. I don't know if he has any special moves, because I've always killed him in like 2 seconds.
Oh, smiling on the other side of your face now, aren't you, Malfoy? Come on, Ron. Why's the train stopped?
And now all of a sudden things get ominous, and I definitely appreciate this touch. Kind of neat graphical effect, and also how Crookshanks in the background just like runs away, terrified. So your HP drains suddenly, and there's nothing you can do about this. It's just a cutscene that you have to put up with.
Harry! Harry!
Get Harry out! I'll get help!
Oh, Hermione, so good at making excuses to run away from threatening magical creatures. Truly, the smartest witch of her age. Smarter than these two, anyway. At this point, all you can really do is walk backwards and get away from that Dementor. I would definitely not recommend doing anything other than walking away from it, because it will sap your HP fairly quickly if you give it the chance, and there's no reason to have to do this part more than once, trust me. So just back up. When Hermione ran away, she gave you a general idea of where you're supposed to, like, kind of walk Harry around these suitcases. I don't believe there's any button you can press to put him down, nor would I try to. I don't see why you'd want to spend more time with the Dementors. If they get too close, you have to shake the control stick rapidly in order to escape. And you really have to, like, wiggle that a lot. Like, a lot more than, say, if you were escaping from one of those grabbing ghosts in Luigi's Mansion. Like, Dementors, they take some strength to break away from. They take a little bit more effort. And they're creepy, not to mention that. They're pretty creepy. Yeah, I'm creeped out by Dementors, personally. Some of the most ominous creatures in the series, really.
None of us is hiding Sirius Black under our cloaks.
Harry! Harry! Are you alright?
What? Are you okay? Yeah. What happened? Who screamed? No one screamed. But I heard screaming.
Here, eat it. It'll help.
What was that thing?
A Dementor. One of the Dementors of Azkaban.
Are you sure you're okay, Harry?
Fine.
Take this book, Harry. I'm sure it'll help. It has a few pages missing, but I'm sure you'll be able to find them at Hogwarts.
At long last, the Hogwarts Express reached its destination, and soon Harry and his friends were safely in Gryffindor Tower. Knowing that Sirius Black was likely to be looking for him troubled Harry deeply, and Professor Dumbledore's announcement about Dementors patrolling the gates while Sirius Black was still at large only confirmed his fears. But finding himself back in the familiar dormitory, Harry felt he was home at last.
Harry, did you have a look at the Folio Bruti that Lupin gave you then? No, not yet. Come on, let's have a look at it then. Show it to me.
As enthusiastic as Ron is about seeing that Folio Bruti, there are more important things that I need to show you first. Like in here, this dormitory, we have Harry's red suitcase with the HP on it, and within it is the first of many wizard cards. Now, there's not nearly as many wizard cards as there were in Chamber of Secrets, but we're still going to collect them all, and I'm going to show them individually later, once we have them all. But for the time being, I'm just going to tell you what they are as we pick them up, because unlike the last game, they don't show you each one as you pick it up. You have to go into the Folio Universitas and check it here, which is what we did. And the other thing that Ron wanted to see, the Folio Bruti, this book here, it's a list of all the different enemies you can encounter in the game. We only have the first page for Dementor. Yeah, we're gonna fight them later, no surprise there. So just like with those wizard cards, of which there's like roughly half the amount that there were in Chamber of Secrets, the Folio Bruti, they actually don't show you the pictures of them as you're picking them up, and neither will I. I'll just tell you what they are when we pick them up.
Sorry, I'm really busy at the moment. I've got so much work to do. But you said you had lots of trouble with Draco on the train.
Yes.
Well, you could have made it so much easier for yourself with the Expelliarmus spell. The spell book's over there.
Thanks. I remember the Expelliarmus spell.
Don't you love how she said that we had lots of trouble with Draco on the train? Anyway, now we have Expelliarmus, it's another spell in our arsenal. Check this red board, it'll be useful later. It's the Lost and Found board from Chamber of Secrets, though it's a lot glitchier this time around, if you can believe it. Hopefully I won't be getting all the glitches that are associated with it, but we'll talk about those at a later date. Right now we have dueling practice with Ron. Fun. Can't imagine anyone more competent we could battle against.
Okay, then. You cast Rependo at me, and I'll try and use Expelliarmus. Come on! Cast Rependo at me!
And unfortunately, he deflected it. I bet you were hoping it would knock him on his ass. His voice is really annoying, isn't it?
Right, now it's my turn. I'll cast Rependo at you, and you use Expelliarmus to knock my spells away. Hang on.
And now he's telling us that we need to equip Expelliarmus in order to deflect his spells, which I guess is nice enough. So I'm going to put that on Y, and Expelliarmus is kind of more finicky in this game. It's really weird. You don't use it as much as you did in Chamber of Secrets, and with good reason. It's just awkwardly programmed, and that's how awkwardly programmed that it really is that's going to become clear pretty soon. Also, I'm just choosing Flipendo on him because I enjoy hitting Ron, and you normally can't target him.
That was cool. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's go and see Fred and George.
Let's go and see Fred and George! God, Ron is so annoying. Yeah, Ron's voice, like, no matter what, it always sounds awkward in some places in these games. Like in Chamber of Secrets when he's talking about Fred and George, it's always Fred and George that makes him talk weirdly. He's like, Fred and George have set up a shop where you can trade all kinds of things. Anyway, you've got your first Birdie Bots every flavor beans in these jars. Unfortunately, Flipendo doesn't home in on them like it did in the last game, making them more troublesome to hit and get beans from. It's pretty obnoxious. Especially because you can only get one bean per jar, unlike the last game where you could get like 5 or 3.
Shouldn't you be snuggled up in your little beddy bed right now?
What's it to you?
Well, if you're gonna be like that, here's a little bedtime story to keep you busy.
You gotta love the fact that they included Peeves. Always kind of peeved that he was left out of the movies. Pun intended, actually. But the whole deal with Peeves is, like, he appears a lot in the video games. If you've ever played Sorcerer's Stone for PC, he appears in that game too, but I have to say that this game is probably my favorite Peeves appearance, because it's kind of the way I pictured him. Peeves in the Sorcerer's Stone PC game is really weird looking. He looks like a bootleg Joker from Batman. He's really creepy too. The sad thing about this mini-boss is, you know how I was talking about how Expelliarmus doesn't do what it's supposed to do? This is, like, 95% of the problem with Expelliarmus right in this fight. Like, Ron keeps yelling, "Hey, you have to target it in order to hit it!" But look, I'm targeting it, and I'm using Expelliarmus to rebound that attack at it. And yeah, it's only the green spark that shoots out initially that you're supposed to deflect. And it's just really hard to get it to hit him. Sometimes I've had more luck shooting the spell back at him without targeting the book. But it seems like that's just not working out, so I'm going to try targeting again and see if I have more luck. 2 more hits and we'll do it. Okay, just 1 more. It seems like most of this is just luck. Like, it's just very cramped space, it's very awkward. Keeps going over his head. Okay, yeah, the book's finally dead.
And don't come back, you loony! Right, let's go and find Fred and George. Thanks for sorting out Peeves, by the way. You really know how to cast that Expelliarmus spell.
Harry's expression at the end of that, he was like just blinking, yeah, well, I guess I really do know how to cast that Expelliarmus spell as best as one can know how to do something impossible. Anyway, here's the second wizard card. This one's Joscelind Wadcock. It's the second, of the Quidditch card set. You see, like, each of the Folio Universitas comes in sets of 5, and we already had the first of the Quidditch card set, Cyprian Youdle. Now we have 2 out of 5. If we get 5 out of 5, we get a special reward. For completing each of the 5, there's like a different reward you get, which is kind of neat, I suppose. So, oh, we actually didn't defeat those books. There we go, Ron's life is saved. Also, there's kind of a cool talking portrait here.
Please don't hesitate to stop by with any questions you may have. I may be able to help.
I like to pretend that he's Davy Jones, but I'm pretty sure that guy's name is Glamour Peaks. So, just like the last game, first thing Ron does is take you to Fred and George.
Fred, George, what have you got to show us then?
Something really special. This way.
Fred and George has some really special looks on their faces right now.
Within this room is the entrance to a secret passage, beyond which you will find the Marauder's map, a magical parchment that shows you everything you will ever need to know about Hogwarts.
So there's an entrance to a secret passage in here?
Yes, indeed there is, young Harry, and we're sure that one of you will be able to find it.
So here's a new feature, you can switch between characters by pressing B.
Hey, there's something odd about that wall over there.
There's something odd about Fred and George too, but I don't see you complaining. Anyway, Ron's special ability is kind of, he can search objects. Like, Harry could do that in the last game, but he suddenly can't in this game. Only Ron can. Like, suddenly that's just Ron's special ability, to search objects. It also helps him uncover hidden passageways. Kind of like Lumos did in Chamber of Secrets. So much like Lumos that it actually makes the same sound effect.
Gentlemen, if you'd like to step inside.
So next episode, we're going into a dungeon. Till then, mischief managed.